And welcome once again to the Pet Show. Is your poodle acting a little too French? Does your Tonkinese kitten have you totally terrified? Are your pugs behaving a little paranoid? Well, if you love your dogs and cats, and I'm assuming you do, and really want to get inside their heads and try to understand them almost as well as they understand you, or maybe you're just confused by your dog or cat's behavior and want to understand it a little bit better, you know what to do, right? Stay tuned, because once again, right here, right now, it is time for the Pet Show. America's first and only real pet psychology, pet training, pet behavior, pet lifestyle, pet love. You get the idea. This is the show about pets. So hop up on my couch. Bring those adorable, furry little buddies with you, folks. It is that time, once again, to let the animal analyzing begin. Hey, good morning, everyone. I'm Warren Eckstein. Welcome to the Pet Show, the place where we absolutely, positively, never a doubt about it, love, adore, and as I stress every single week, respect pets and animals as much as you do. By the way, if you want to join me on the Evergreen Pet Show family, and of course you do, if you have a question about your dog or cat's behavior, maybe you just want to brag a little bit about your dog or cat, maybe your dog or cat is jumping or digging or scratching or peed on your bed, not using a litter box, your dog doesn't come when you call, it's like talking to the wind, you adopted a new cat and the old cat says, no way am I taking this new feline into the house. You get the idea, right? So if you have a question or a comment, excuse me, great time to give me a call. The phone number here at the Pet Show, 866-870-KRLA, 866-870-KRLA. Or if you're more of a numbers person, that's 866 excuse me, 870-5752, 866-870 KRLA. That is the way to get through. Plenty of time for your calls. Got some stuff to give away on the show as well. Busy show lined up for you guys. So if you have a question or comment, great time to start calling me. Excuse me. Again, the number 866-870-KRLA. Excuse my clearing my throat. I had some oral surgery this week. Well, actually last week. And sometimes I need to do that. So bear with me. I promise I'll try not to do it too. I sound like my dog when he has a sore throat. 866-870-KRLA, the phone number, 866-870-5752. Let me tell you what's coming up on today's show. Busy show. I'm going to talk about some major criticism I took from a listener this week. And the most important part about it is I agree with them. We'll talk about that a little bit later, but let me tell you what I have planned for today's show. Number one, to hug your dog or not to hug your dog, that is the question. You know, my entire reputation for all these years has been based on hugging and kissing. I would guess that most of my listeners do, in fact, hug their dogs. How does dogs perceive hugs? It's a good idea to hug your dog, or maybe not such a good idea to hug your dog. Give me a call. What do you think? 866-870-KRLA. Also coming up on today's show, you know, cats sometimes get left out. We often talk about stress when it comes to our dogs. But what about stressed out cats? Yes, stressed out cats. I said it. Stress is very common in our feline buddies. In fact, some professionals actually consider cats as stress sponges that often hold on to their stress. So we're going to take a look at some of the signs of a stressed cat coming up a little bit later on today's show as well. As I said, plenty of time for your calls, lots of great stuff coming up. And I have a great question of the day today. And I hope you guys really get into the mood and respond to it, because it can really make a difference in terms of saving other dogs and cats' lives. Also coming up on today's show, yeah, we love our dogs. We would do anything to make their lives better. Coming up, my suggestions for dog enrichment and things you can do to stimulate them. But I know you can go to PetSmart or Petco or Costco or Chewy, and you can buy all kinds of stuff for your dogs and make them look better, make them act better. But what about really getting inside their heads? What about really stimulating your dogs? We're going to talk about that. Do you know that the majority of behaviors that people don't really enjoy about their dogs, and their cats for that matter, are based on the fact that their dogs are not getting the mental stimulation they need? Also, and this is the important topic I want to talk about today, I'm going to bring Denise on the air one of these days, and she's going to tell you when she wakes up in the morning. I've already been up for 3-4 hours. I get up 3:30, 4 o'clock every morning because I'm, going back to the East Coast in terms of some of the work I do. And it is absolutely incredible how many tears I shed by 6 o'clock in the morning. So many dogs, so many cats need homes. So many. So here's my thought for the day. There's no doubt in my life that if it was not for some of the dogs and cats and pigs and chickens and other animals I've rescued, my life would never be the same. Would never be the same. Someone wanted to be a mailman years ago. Nothing wrong with that, but that wouldn't have worked for Warren. So here's part of what I want to talk about today. Has a sheltered dog or a cat, or a rescued dog or cat, changed your life? Has a rescued dog or a cat changed your life? Think about it. Give me a call. I want to hear from you guys. It can make the difference in terms of someone listening, thousands of people listening right now saying, you know what? Maybe it is time to adopt a dog. Maybe I need that change in my life. Maybe that's what I need to really improve my lifestyle. Give me a call. Let me know if a dog or a cat, a rescued dog or cat, or a sheltered dog or cat has changed your life. Also coming up, has the amount of time you spend on your phone affected your relationship with your dog or cat? We're going to talk about that as well. Again, the number here, 866-870-KRLA. 866-870-5752. Do have a few things to give away on today's show as well. As always, plenty of time to answer all of your questions and comments. As I said, some good stuff to give away. If your pet is jumping, chewing, scratching, confused about the litter box, not housebroken, doesn't get along with other dogs. Some people just believe that it's if your dog comes to everything, that's what he has to do. Great time to give me a call. Plenty of time for your questions. Some great stuff to give away. Again, that number, 866-870-KRLA, 866-870-5752. By the way, we are on my YouTube, so we're broadcasting live at youtube.com/Warren Eckstein, youtube.com/Warren Eckstein. So, I wasn't joking when I said that I have a pretty darn good life. Other than the fact I'm in Arizona, it was 100 degrees yesterday. A pretty darn good life. Great wife. Great rescue dogs. And over the years, I've adopted, rescued, sheltered dogs and street dogs and other animals pretty much my entire life. You should have seen me when I was 9 or 10 years old. No one would go in my room because there was always all kinds of stuff, living stuff in there. So I want to share this. Has a sheltered dog or a rescued dog or cat made changes in your life? Have they really benefited you in your life? Have they make you think a little bit different? Have they made you more compassionate? I know they've done it for me. Have they done it for you? And let me hear from you, because so many of my listeners have adopted their dogs, rescued their dogs, took their dogs or cats off the streets. And your comment to me right now, can make the difference about someone listening saying, you know, maybe it's time for me to adopt or rescue a sheltered dog or cat. Maybe this is the time to do it. So if you've rescued a dog or cat, a sheltered dog or cat off the street, give me a call. I'd love to hear from you. I got some great T-shirts to give away. In fact, I want everyone wearing my new T-shirts that say none of my friends walk upright. So I got a lot of T-shirts to give away. I got some books to give away as well. Has a sheltered dog or cat ever in fact change your life? Give me a call, 866-870-KRLA, 866-870-5752. That is the way to get through. So, if you were listening to the Pet Show last week, as well you should have, you heard me talking about the fact that I got into a tremendous amount of trouble. Yeah, I did. Once again, Warren got in trouble. But why did I get in trouble? Did I steal something? No. Did I have a car accident? No. Did I yell at somebody? No. Did I hit somebody? No. Was I nasty to somebody? No. You know what I did to get in trouble? I talked about it last week. I misgendered someone's dog. Oh my God. I should have been in jail. I called a male dog a female, or perhaps it was a female dog. I called a male. I don't remember. But I misgendered a dog and I got into so much trouble. Well, one of my listeners, call him Frank, sent me an email. I'm going to share it with you later on today's show. And in that email, it was interesting. And he criticized me. And normally when someone gets criticized, they fight back. But you know what? He was right. He was right. Absolutely right. I'm going to share that with you coming up later. Maybe I did become a little too politically correct. Maybe I've been convinced by the wrong people and have come a little politically We'll talk about that later. You're not going to believe this. You're not going to believe it. And yes, I may actually have to make an apology on the air today. To everyone. Well, almost everyone. There are some people that are going to disagree with me. But I was kind of, usually the calls I get and the emails I get are thank you for helping me, Warren. You made a difference in our lives. We helped me with the dog. You helped me with my cat. And I love those. But, criticism's important too. Sometimes we have to have it. I'm looking at my phones. I got a couple of lines open. Is no one going to share today? Is no one going to share today with me how a rescue dog or a rescued cat or adopted dog or an adopted cat changed your life? I have seen it happen so many times. I have seen depressed people come out of depression. I've seen anxious people lose a lot of their anxiety. I've seen people that were just totally crazed change their life once they adopted a rescue dog or a rescue cat. And the reason I say that, I'm not an abolitionist about purebred dogs, of course not. But rescuing a dog or rescuing a cat from a shelter or off the streets or saving a dog or cat's life is the ultimate. It's the ultimate. It has changed my life so many times because every single one of them has a different story. And we don't know their stories, but somehow by spending time with them, we learn them. We learn their stories, and it makes all the difference. I'd love to hear from you as well. 866-870-KRLA, that is the way to get through. Question of the day, has a shelter or rescue pet changed your life? We're going to talk about that. To hug or not to hug? How many people out there hug their dogs, and how many people don't hug their dogs? Should you hug your dog? Should you not hug your dogs? We're going to talk about that. And also pet enrichment, plus any problems you may be having. A lot of calls I get, my dog is chewing, my dog is jumping, my dog is humping, my cat is scratching. And some people get very angry, and some people get really upset about that. And some trainers and behaviorists even say, well, this is the way you stop that behavior. This is what you need to do. You need to get stronger. You need to get tougher. You need to get alpha. I say nonsense. I say sit down, have a conversation with your dog or your cat, and you'll find out what's bugging them. They'll find out what's bugging you, and sometimes that conversation is all that's needed to resolve any issues that you may be having. So plenty of time for your calls, some good stuff to give away. Yeah, I am broadcasting today from my home in Arizona. Not lying, folks. It was 100 degrees yesterday, 100 degrees. So my friends in L.A., my friends in New York, my friends in Chicago, my friends in Florida all call me up and say, Warren, how can you live in Arizona? How can you live where it's over 100 degrees and it's not even summertime yet? Here's my response. My house is air conditioned. My car is air conditioned. And Costco is air conditioned. Where am I else? Where am I? Of course, 100 degrees. It is a little warm. The only hassle about 100 degrees is that Molly and Willie have to go out either real early in the morning or real late at night. And if they really have to go during the day and I have to let them out in the backyard, neighbors look at me like I'm crazy, but I know the ground gets hot, so I'm out there with a hose cooling off the ground before I let Molly and Willie outside. Again, that number, 866-870-KRLA. If you want to check out the YouTube channel, youtube.com/Warren Eckstein, youtube.com/Warren Eckstein. I'm going to take a quick break. When we come back, Sharam, I believe it is, has a clingy Maltese. We got to talk to her about that. Plenty of time for your calls. As I said, lots of great stuff to give away. Kind of a different show today. I'll be answering all your questions, jumping, humping, whatever it may be. Also, last week I started talking about, my personal life, and people like to know some of the things from my background. And I was talking about the David Letterman show. I trained all the animals for the David Letterman show, Saturday Night Live, years and years ago. You may not have seen me on Saturday Night Live, but you can rest assured if you saw a dog, a cat, a chicken, or a horse, I was somewhere under something, hiding somewhere underneath as well. Interesting time of my career. But last week I started talking about David Letterman and how they dressed him up in a suit of suet, and how I brought in a deer and a raccoon and a possum and all these animals, and they were supposed to eat David Letterman in this cage. He was in a suit of suet, and not one of the animals went near him. My reaction was, it wasn't that the animals weren't hungry, it's that the smell of an NBC cafeteria prevented the animals from chewing away. It didn't go, not the best segment I ever did. 866-870-KRLA, the phone number, 866-870-5752. That is the way to get through. Let's do this. Let me take a break. Sharam, I'm going to get back to you. I got some open lines. Again, if you rescued a dog or cat, I want to hear from you today. You can text me on YouTube as well, youtube.com/Warren Eckstein. I want to hear from you guys there as well. 866-870-KRLA, 866-870-5752. A quick break, then right back to you, Sharam. I'm Warren Eckstein. This is The Pet Show. 70 KRLA, 866-870-5752. Plenty of time for your calls. Got a few things to give away on the show as well. Come on, guys. I'm really hoping that some people kind of come up and tell me how a rescued dog or cat has either changed your life or did the dog or cat actually rescue them? I want to hear from you because it can encourage other people. And every shelter, and I've been talking to shelters all across the U.S. and Canada, even parts of Mexico, they are all full. So the bottom line is we need to get these dogs and these cats out of these shelters. And the way to do that is sometimes letting other people know how incredible adopting or rescuing these dogs or cats is and how they change your life. So I'd love to hear from you as well. Everyone who called and rescued a dog or cat will get one of the T-shirts that says, "None of my friends walk upright." thepetshow.com on the back. So check that out, 866-870-KRLA. 866-870-5752. You know what? Let me get to the phones. We're going to get to Sharam first, then we're going to get to Lena. Sharam, am I pronouncing that correct?
Hello. Yes.
Is it Sharam? Is it Sharam? Do I have the name right?
Yes, Sharam, yes.
Sharam, yes. How are you today?
How are you today? Thank you, Warren. First, let me say I commend you for what you chose to do with your life. It's amazing.
Well, it's interesting. It's interesting, you say that, Sharam, because sometimes you choose what you do with your life, but I believe that it was chosen for me. And let me explain that for a second. Believe it or not, when I was growing up, there wasn't anyone more shy, more introverted than I was. And and I grew up on Long Island, and there was a creek behind my parents' house, and that's where I spent my youth with muskrats and Canada geese and regular and all those animals. And so that was my comfort zone. So it's kind of like sometimes whoever you believe in chooses what you're going to do for you. So it was chosen for me. And you know what? I would have chosen the same thing. But I really do appreciate that as well, Sharam. So what can I do to help you?
I wasn't. I always wanted my life to be easy, so I wasn't looking to have a pet. But my girlfriend insisted on having one. I prefer the cat, but since she would be taking care of it, I gave in. So about less than a year ago, we came across this beautiful Maltese male that was imported, and someone who imported it couldn't take care of it. So she was working all the time, and the dog had separation anxiety because of moving around from the breeder to come to the U.S., and then she couldn't take care of it. So we got him, and he is beautiful. Everyone who sees him is in awe of how cute it is. But he cannot be alone. He has I don't know, we cannot leave him alone. He cries, he screams. He doesn't bark at all, but he cries, and it just breaks my heart. So we have him all the time with us, at least one of us. So that kind of has made my life in many ways, much more meaningful. Looking forward, I don't have kids, but having this dog makes a big difference. But have to be with him all the time, take him if we go to someone's house. Sometimes we got to take him with him, and he also has this issue of marking. In some ways, it's difficult. So I want.
So let me stop you and ask you a question. How old was this dog when you rescued him?
We didn't rescue him. We bought him.
Okay, so you got him as a puppy. Where did you get him from? A breeder, a pet store?
No, the breeder, someone had imported him from Korea, from the breeder, and she owned him for about 2 months. So we got him when he was about 8 months old, 9 months old, and we've had him since then. So he's about...
So you got him, you first got the dog, Sharam, when he was 8 or 9 months old. Where was he all that time before?
2 months with the person who... bought him and imported him, and before that with the breeder in Korea.
Okay, so there's first of all, I'm not thrilled about the whole thing, the way this all went down. Number one, let me explain something to you. Your dog does not have separation anxiety. Your dog has what we call abandonment issues. The dog had a life, lived with its puppies, was separated, never saw them again. Lived with someone else for a while, it was 8 months old, separated, never saw them again. So when you and your girlfriend leave the dog alone, it's not that he's afraid to be left alone. His fear is that you may not, in fact, be coming back. So what we need to do is reestablish the fact that when you leave, you always return. So even when you're home, it's important that you and your girlfriend go into another room just for 30 seconds and then go back where the dog is. Start leaving him for really short periods, but when you leave him, don't say anything like, goodbye, I'll see you later. Just walk out of the room, walk back in. After you've done that for a bit of time, what I recommend you do is go out the front door of your house, come in the back door. What happens is it's what we call counter conditioning. Once this dog starts to really, really understand the concept that when you leave, you're coming back, we have the battle pretty much over. Leave a radio on for him. That's important. Exercise before you leave, but short periods of time. Again, don't make a big deal out of going. Don't make a big deal out of coming. Just kind of practice at home. Really, just a minute, 30 seconds at a time. If he barks, just ignore it. Just walk in, walk back out. Little by little, he'll realize that when you leave, you're coming back, and that fear of being abandonment, will start to dissipate. I deal with this all the time. It's going to take some time, but this dog has a very strange life. First of all, it came from Korea, shipped to someone else here, then to you. Doesn't sound great to me, but we have to deal with what we have. And he's a beautiful dog. I can tell you and your girlfriend love the dog. So let's get through this abandonment issue. Follow the advice on that. Now, I noticed there's a second part of your question in terms of animals in other countries. Who helps them out? Is that your question as well?
Yes. So through this is my first pet, and so I've got a soft heart now towards animals in general. And I come across videos, especially from Iran, since that's where I'm from. Since I moved out here, I was in Iran in my childhood, and the religion is very harsh, especially to dogs. They call them dirty. They consider them. They're very, very rough with them.
In fact, Sharam, when I lived in New York City, a lot of the cab drivers were from Iran. A lot of them were Persian cab drivers, and they actually refused to have dogs go into their cabs until it was proven that they had no choice if it was a rescue. So I understand what you're saying, but let me explain. I'm going to brag a little bit. Does anyone mind if I brag a little bit? My Hugs and Kisses Animal Fund is one of the very few organizations that is in touch with all the different groups all across the world. As a matter of fact, I'm Romanian by background, so I donate to an organization called Rolda. It's a Romanian organization. We get calls from Canada. We get calls from England. We get calls from Turkey. We get calls from Israel. We get calls from all over. So when I get a call or I find out about a shelter that really can use some dollars, that's where the money for my own Hugs and Kisses Animal Fund goes. So we're one of those organizations that does donate as soon as we hear about a group outside of the country, inside the country, wherever it may be, and especially the smaller groups. And I know from people I've spoken to in Iran that the rescue groups, one guy's helping a bunch of dogs kind of on the side. He doesn't want anyone to know that he's doing it. Those are the type of people I try to help. So if you're looking to help me help those groups, go to my website, hugsandkissesanimalfund.org. It's a 501c3, totally tax deductible, and take it from my heart to your heart. Every single penny that people donate goes directly to help the animals. There's no expenses because I cover all the expenses out of my pocket. So check out hugsandkissesanimalfund.org. What I'd like to do, if it's okay with you, Sharam, is it okay if I send you a copy of my book? There's a great chapter in there specifically on abandonment and separation, and that may help you out even more than what I've already done. Is that okay with you?
Of course. Thank you. Of course, I appreciate that, and thank you so much for the information.
And Sharam, don't be afraid to call me back. You're going to get frustrated. It doesn't happen overnight, but I'm going to put you on hold. You get to speak to the lovely Suzette. Suzette, we're going to send him a copy of How to Get Your Dog to Do What You Want, and I do appreciate that phone call. Let me take a break. When we come back, we got Lena in Sun Valley. We got Marsha in L.A. We got Barbara in L.A. We got Mike calling from Las Vegas, Nevada. We'll get to all your calls, I promise, right after this. The phone number, 866-870-KRLA, 866-870-5752. Also, I'm going to talk about this. I got a letter this week. Actually, it was an email this week. Let's call it Frank. And saying that I become a little bit politically correct. Or incorrect. I don't know, whichever it is. And, you would think that I would get upset and I would respond to Frank in a negative way. But, Frank, you're right. You're right. And I'm going to talk about that and make an apology when we come back. 866-870-KRLA, the phone number. A quick break, then right back to all your calls. I'm Warren Eckstein. This is The Pet Show. On The Pet Show, I'm Warren Eckstein. That phone number, 866-870-KRLA. The phones are jamming, so I'm going to put some of my topics to the side, get to the phone calls, and I'll tell you about my special apology to all my listeners, or at least to a good majority of my listeners as well. But right now, let me take you guys in order. Lena, Marsha, Barbara, Mike, and then Katie. Right now, it's Lena in Sun Valley. Hi, Lena. Welcome to The Pet Show.
Oh, thank you, Warren. I wanted to thank you for the book that you sent me 2 weeks ago. I wanted to thank you on here. Thank you so much for that.
I appreciate it. Hope it's helping you out a little bit.
Oh, yes, because I lost my cat, but she was a rescue. We rescued her, and we have 2 more that we have at home.
Oh, so I sent you the cat book, not the dog book, I hope.
Oh, but it was very, I wanted to thank you for everything that you sent me. I appreciate that.
Lena, thank you so much. Thank you so much for calling. You give those kitties a big hug for me, will you?
Oh, thank you so much. I appreciated that. Thank you.
And thank you. I appreciate my listeners so much. You guys are. You're the family. It's the Pet Show. Listen, we've been together. We've been together longer than any marriage I know. We've been together about 45 years. Many of us have been talking to each other. Let's go to Marsha in Los Angeles. Hey, Marsha, welcome to the show.
Hi, can you hear me okay?
Absolutely. Like you're right next to me, Marsha.
Great, thank you. I rescued a dog maybe about 4 years ago, a Shih Tzu, a little kid, and had given him a dog, and his foster father said that he had taken the puppy and thrown him across the room, and he fell. And so I am raising this little dog. He's wonderful. He keeps me smiling. I think he's lowered my blood pressure. And it's a lot of work, but I love him. I really do.
It's amazing you say that. Years ago when the studies first, now everyone knows it, but the studies were first coming out, and I was doing a segment on the Today Show with Hoda, and we were talking about how pets make us feel better. And we were talking about that the studies were all proven now, that the major studies out of Cornell and UCLA, suggesting that just being with a dog or stroking a cat, in reality does actually lower your blood pressure and improve the oxytocin, making us feel a lot better. So you're absolutely right. And I think we love all of our dogs, but I think sometimes when we rescue a dog or cat and we know what kind of background they came from or what they've gone through, somehow there's even more of a special relationship. I'll give you a prime example. I shouldn't say that. The only dog I ever purchased was the Buster Brown dog, who I trained for the company, and I bought him back from the company when he retired. But Molly and Willie, my 2 guys right now, they came from a high-kill shelter in Los Angeles. They were so bonded. God knows what they went through. Willie was no doubt in my mind, it weighs 9 pounds. He was kicked around and abused and smacked, and how people are like that. But sometimes when you rescue these dogs and you give them the love, and sometimes it takes a little time, and you give them the hugs and you give them the kisses, and you let them kind of decompress and come out of it on their own, they turn out to be amazing. And I got to tell you, my little Willie and my little Molly right now are outgoing. They love everyone. They want to meet everybody. They love other dogs. They love people, all because I gave them that time, and all because they now realize that they are in their forever home and they're going to receive nothing but a lot of love. Sometimes criticism from me, but most of the time it's really love. So I'm so glad to do that. You know what, Marsha? Don't go in. I'm putting you on hold. Suzette's going to pick up. You're getting a T-shirt that says "None of my friends walk upright." Now, Barbara, God, great calls coming in. I want to get to all your calls. Let me do this first, okay? I promise I'm going to get to all your calls as soon as I come back from a break, but I want to share this with you because it kind of upset me a little bit. If you were listening to the show last week, you guys all heard that I talked about being really chastised, yelled at, screamed at in front of a bunch of people at a dog park because why? I misgendered someone's dog. I deal with thousands of dogs, folks, thousands of dogs. So I called a male dog a female. Who knows what I did? I probably do it all the time. Anyway, so I want you to hear this. I got this email. It is the foolish, politically correct nonsense that society has fallen for. You just stepped into some liberal's trap. He's right. But does it remind me of how you chastise callers who mention their mixed breeds pet? Yeah, when people call me up and they say, well, I have a mixed breed, I have a mutt, I have a domestic terrier, I always criticize them and say, no, we prefer to use the term blended. And he writes to me, Warren, what difference does it make? They all mean the same thing. You know, besides this show, I get off the air here and I do my national Canadian show for Radio America, and I get this all the time. And, you know, yeah, I adopted this mutt from that. That person doesn't love that dog or cat any less than if you called it something else. So I fell into that trap. I have a lot of listeners and a lot of people that listen to the show that are woke, and I love you guys. But just because someone calls up and said they have a mixed breed dog or they have a mutt, that doesn't mean they love their dog or cat any less than you do. So I'm going to knock it off. As long as you love your dog, adore your dog, if you want to call it something different besides blended breed, I'm with you. I apologize. I really do apologize for telling people that I'm criticizing you because you called your dog a mixed breed dog. Political correctness doesn't mean anything when it comes to our dogs and our cats. If we love them, we treat them properly, and we adore them. So again, I apologize. I was wrong. All these years now, I was wrong correcting people when they call up, you know, I have a mixed breed dog. I said, no, we don't call them mixed breeds anymore. We don't call them mutts anymore. We call them blended breeds. And if I made anyone feel bad about that, I apologize. You love your dogs as much as I do. I might call mine blended. You might call yours mixed. Whatever you call them. I love them as much as you love them. You love them as much as I love them. So thank you, Frank, for letting me see that, and I appreciate that that criticism, because you know what? You're right. You're absolutely right. I get calls from someone in Omaha, Nebraska, saying, Warren, I had just adopted a mutt from the shelter, and I love the dog. You think that person loves the dog any less if they called it a blended breed or a fur baby? I don't think so. When I grew up, they were all mutts. American domestics, curbstone setters, whatever we called them back then. Did I love my dogs any less when I was growing up because I didn't use the term blended back then? No. Knock off the nonsense. I'm talking to myself, Warren. Knock off the nonsense. Let me do this. Let me take a quick break. Barbara, you'll be up next. Mike, you'll be up next. Katie, you'll be up next. The phone number, 866-870-KRLA, 866-870-5752. What do you think? Was I wrong? And do you accept my apology? I need it, folks. Do you accept my apology? 866-870-KRLA, the phone number. Quick break, then right back to your phone calls. I'm Warren Eckstein. This is The Pet Show. The phones are jamming. I'm going to get to as many calls as I possibly can, even if I have to move some of my topics over a little bit. So right now, let me go to Barbara, then Mike, then Katie, then Mark, then Samantha. I'm going to get to all your calls, I promise. But right now, it's Barbara in Los Angeles. Hey, Barbara, welcome to The Pet Show.
Warren, first of all, quickly, you don't owe any apology to anyone. That woman owes you an apology. People are just too reactionary and hysterical about things that don't matter. People are starving and dying in the world, and they're worried about you came up and you were nice to her, and it just infuriates me. So Frank is wrong too.
Sometimes it's best just to walk away.
Yeah, but you could bring her a copy of your book next time. I would do that.
I should do that. Here's a copy. By the way, what can you teach me about dogs? I should ask her.
Yes,
good idea, Barbara. Good idea. Anyway, what can I do for you today?
Person. So, Warren.
Yeah.
You asked about adopted pets. I'm about to leave to go to Sun Valley to take my precious Siamese cat, almost 16 years old, Anuka, to be cremated. She died yesterday.
Oh, I'm so sorry to hear that, Barbara. My heart just breaks for you.
And I rescued her. She has those lavender blue eyes, you know. I rescued her and her sister Marinka when they were tiny kittens on Verdugo in York in L.A., and it was like quite a few nights sitting out there at the parking lot till 2 a.m. Finally got one, and then I got the other, and there were two more that I didn't get. Maybe somebody else did. But, she started deteriorating in recent weeks. I knew she was getting older, but the last few days, I was going to take her to the doctor today, but anyway, I saw the end was coming when I couldn't hydrate her with the syringe, putting water and broth.
Oh, gosh.
She would have just choked, and I just saw that this is the point, like you always say, look at the animal, and they will tell you. I know she didn't want to go, but I had to face the fact that it's time, and not to be selfish, not to push it, and just let her pass. And she, my other dog that I had called in before, my dog that I just rescued from Pasadena, Humane, a big white Siberian Husky Senior, Pasha, and today is the Pasha full moon. Pasha has been wonderful to the cats. Those two were soulmates, the Siamese cat and Pasha, and he sat beside her and laid by her as she was deteriorating this week. And we both sat with her as she passed away and just held her and stroked her and as sweetly as we could. And she passed away very peacefully. And her sister, Marinka, died last year. And so the other cats, I have 4 others. I have one almost 25 years old. We aren't very happy, but we're pulling together. We're going to have some special foods tonight and sit Shiva. And she passed over as Passover was entering.
You know, Barbara, let me say this to you, okay? You know, I may not be the most spiritual person in the world. You know, I don't go to temple on a regular basis. I don't go to church on a regular basis. But I believe in God on a regular basis. And from all the years that but my grandparents were very religious. They're from Romania. And the one thing I know, the one thing I believe from the bottom of my heart is that there's life goes on. And when I say life goes on, we may have to say goodbye to our dogs. We may have to say goodbye to our cats. We have to say goodbye to our parents or relatives. But in reality, I don't believe they ever leave us. I believe their spirit, their teachings, their love is always with us. You know, I was talking to someone this week, and I said, you know, every once in a while, when I'm kind of lying down or just kind of relaxing, I went through some oral surgery, so I've been sitting around a lot. I can not only feel, but I can smell the presence of so many of the dogs and cats and other animals that have been part of my life over the years. And I believe that. I believe from the bottom of my heart. And I remember speaking to an old German man at a German rest house or a bar, not too far from the University of Frankfurt, speaking to him specifically about the concept of they never leave us. There's always light behind them. And I honestly believe that. So your cat may be cremated. That strictly body has nothing to do with the spirit and the light and love you gave this cat in the past.
And, what happened to the... Oh, okay.
I'm here.
I'm sorry. And by the way... I'm actually, you're talking about the blended breeds. You can call them anything you want. We learn from you, and maybe you can learn something from us, but you're the authority on all of these things, and that's why we've listened to you for decades. I have so much knowledge, I could almost get at least an associate's degree in animal behavior from you, because I help people in my neighborhood. I help people online when I see they have a problem. There's so much ignorance out there, and I am a mixed breed myself. I'm multiple ethnicities and at least 2 religions. So I celebrate all the holidays, you know.
Well, you know, listen, I'm like you. My wife is Irish Catholic from Omaha, Nebraska, and I'm a Jewish kid from Long Island. So, you know, it's Let me tell you. Can I tell you guys a funny story? I got to take a break. Barbara, I'm going to hang up on you, Barbara, but I want you to keep listening. Okay, don't go anywhere.
One more thing.
Yeah.
One more thing. Are you there?
I'm here.
The T-shirt. I already have the T-shirt. And last night, after I cleaned her, I was preparing her body, and in a little bed, and I had her on the bed, and my dog slept up there too all night, and I covered her with the T-shirt, with your T-shirt as a little blanket, just for the one night.
I love you guys. Listen, I got to come back to L.A. just to meet you guys. We got to have a big party one day back in L.A. Anyway, I appreciate the phone call. Remember, I know it's a sad day for you, but remember. Okay, quick story, then I'll take a break. I promise, Alex. I just told you, my wife, Denise, Irish Catholic from Nebraska. A couple of years ago, living in Santa Monica, Denise says, I want to go for Ash Wednesday to St. Monica's church. And I said, fine, I'll go with you. I went into the church and they watched whatever was going on. And when I came out, and they, they were putting ashes on everyone's head. And I said, I don't feel comfortable having ashes put on my head at all. The ceremony was great. So I walked out at that point. Denise got in line, got ashes on the head. And as I walked out, I was standing outside and I had a veteran's hat on. And one of the priests comes over to me and says, why aren't you inside getting ashes, son? And I said, because I'm Jewish. And he looks at me square in the eyes and he goes, that's no sin. Anyway, let me take a quick break. We'll get back to your calls. Mike, Katie, Mark, Samantha, 866-870-KRLA. Great calls today, by the way. A quick break, then right back to your phone calls. I'm Warren Eckstein. This is The Pet Show. Pet Show, I'm Warren Eckstein. Here's the deal. In a minute or two, I got a break for the top of the hour. And you guys got some great questions. Mike has a 12-year-old dog. Coming towards the end, I want to get to you, Mike. Katie has, in La Cañada, has a mixed breed dog. I use that term now with separation anxiety, cleaning teeth. Mark, I'll help you with that. Samantha, skittish cat. So I got plenty of times to get to all your calls. I'll break for the top of the hour. And if I have to skip some of my topics, I will. Your calls are my priority. The number here, 866-870-KRLA. And I told you I made an apology for those people I might have criticized for calling their dog a mutt or a mixed breed or American domestic. I apologize. I really do. Maybe I have a lot of friends that are in rescue movements and a lot of friends that I kind of lean a little bit towards that wokeness, and I love you guys, and I do. But sometimes you need to understand that we don't all use the same terminology. My listener in Arkansas or my listener in Tyler, Texas might call their dog a mixed breed or a mutt, but they love that dog or cat as much as you love your dog or cat, whatever you may call it. I really believe that from the bottom of my heart. I've been doing this for a few weeks. So we're going to take a quick break for the top of the hour, then back to all your calls, I promise. Got T-shirts to give away, a couple of books, 866-870-KRLA, 866-870-5752. I'm Warren Eckstein. You're listening to the show. I'm Warren Eckstein. Great time to give me a call. The phone number, 866-870-KRLA. Question of the day is, has a shelter dog or cat or a rescue dog or cat changed your life, helped you get through some hard times? Give me a call. Let me know. I'd love to hear from you. The phones are jamming. I'm going to take you right in order. Mike, Katie, Mark, Samantha, and KC. Right now, I'm going to go to Mike in Las Vegas. Hey, Mike in Vegas. Welcome to the Pet Show.
Hey, Warren. Thanks for having the show all these years and all your visits to Red Barn and to the dog park in L.A. Right now, I'm outside with Rocky, and I have a single-story home with a big door that I leave open, plus a doggy door. And he just showed me that he can get up on his own, even though his back legs are a little weak. And but he's had Cushing's disease for the past 2 years. Yeah. I caught it early, and just so people know, if you see your dog is drinking a lot of water and urinating a lot, you might want to get him tested, because you can't cure it, but you can stop its acceleration. And,
yeah, it could be Cushing's. It could also be diabetes. So anytime you notice your dog or your cat peeing more and drinking more, it's always a good idea to have it checked out.
And that's what I did. So he's been on the medication trilostane for that time, and he's alert. But just in the past month and a half, sometimes his back legs give out a little bit, and that just breaks my heart, Warren. And I put a harness on him to sometimes help him get up. But he eats well, he drinks well, But I adopted him 12 years ago at the Coachella of all adoptions that I thought was at the La Brea Tar Pits. It was a 3-day event, May 5th, 12 years ago. So he's older than 12, and he's a lab collie blend, mixed blend. He's a great boy.
Mike, I'm listening to the way you're talking, and it sounds to me like you're aware that with any living thing, we get closer and closer to the end. And let's face it, let's be realistic that, over 12 years old, we want to keep him as happy and healthy as we possibly can. What needs to be done at this point is to make him as comfortable as you possibly can. There's a company. It's called Acorn Pet Products. They're based in Phoenix, and they have calming and recovery products for dogs. So check out their website, Acorn Pet Products. But more important than that is whether he lives for another 5 years or a week. I honestly believe what I've always done with my own pets, and I advocate this for everyone, is to sit down every single day and have a conversation with him. What is going on? He will let you know when the time has come. It's never easy. It's never easy. You always want more time, but sometimes we can't be selfish that way. Sometimes we have to say, you know what?
Not at all.
This is the time. So that's a decision that you're going to make. But I think the important thing is that and he already knows this, but just to sit down and have the conversations with him. I think that's so critical, especially when it comes to the end. If he was healthy, I might say, if they have certain places to go, people are now making bucket lists for their dogs. I think it's a great idea. Some dogs love the beach. Some dogs love the city. Some dogs love the dog, whatever. But in your case, the fact that you've had him for such a long time and the fact that your bond is so incredible, the best thing that I could advise you to do right now is just to sit down with him every day and just let him know how much he's loved.
Oh, I do that. I'm going to lose it if I tell you, but I tell him the story of when he was adopted. It makes me feel good. He was actually over 70 pounds, which is his weight now.
Yeah.
And I saw him, but I thought he's too big. I can't carry him if I needed to. But one of the rangers who was part of this over 100 group adoption came up to me and said, "Why don't you see him again?" And I walked him, and all these dogs were barking, and he walked perfectly. And
so, Mike, do you have close friends or relatives that you can have the conversation that you're having with me right now?
I talk to people, yes, not so many in Las Vegas, but on the phone every day.
Yeah, I spoke to someone a couple of weeks ago that was in a similar situation to you, and they did something which was kind of unusual. They did a Zoom call. And the Zoom call was with all the friends of the dog that he had over the years. And everyone talked about their relationship with the dog and how much they loved that dog. And it made it a lot easier for that person. So just an idea I'm tossing out at you.
Oh, that's a great idea, Warren. It's a great idea. See, he's been on this Galliprant, which is, I guess, it's like doggy acetaminophen for the last 2 weeks. Some days are amazing. He gets up, he walks around the backyard.
Well, then it's not time. Then it's not time, Mike. Then he'll let you know when the time is. Maybe it's not time yet. Maybe just sit down and have the conversation with him every day. He'll let you know when it's time.
His vision is going, but his sense of sound and smell is so keen. He doesn't have to manipulate stairs or anything. We're in my home, but a month and a half ago he was jumping on the bed and that's
well,
not
you know, that's
happening anymore,
one of the things. One of the things with our dogs and our cats as they get older, it often happens quickly. Mike, what I'd like to do is I want to recommend that not now, but when the time comes or now, go to my website, thepetshow.com. Okay, everything there is free. I want you to look up a section called Ever After. It's the Ever After section. Mm-hmm. These are poems and stories and similarities written by my listeners for the last 45 years, and I think that might help you get through this. But I want you to give him a hug and a kiss every day. Let him know how much he's loved. He will, in return, when it's time to say goodbye, he will look at you and you will know, and then know you did exactly what you should have done at that point, Mike. My heart breaks for you, Mike. I wish I had something more great to tell you, but we all go through this. But just rest assured that when your dog does cross the rainbow bridge, he's going to be crossing that rainbow bridge knowing how much he was loved, knowing how much he was adored. And as I said earlier, if you were listening, that spirit stays with you for the rest of your life, Mike. If you want to give me a call back again, please do. I'll go a little bit further with you. My heart breaks for you. It really does. And it breaks for anyone who's losing their dog or losing their cat. It's so hard to watch them get older, but at the same time, we need to appreciate the life they've given us and the life we've given them. That can make all the difference in the world. So I disconnected somehow. Anyway, Mike, give him a hug and a kiss for all. I'm sure there's 10,000 people that are listening right now that want to give your dog and you a hug and a kiss. So go ahead and give him a hug and a kiss for all of us. Hey, the phone number here, 866-870-KRLA. 866-870-5752. Great calls. Let me take another call right now. Let me go to Katie in La Cañada. Hi, Katie. Welcome to the Pet Show.
Hi, Warren. Thanks for taking the call.
Hey, it's my pleasure. What's up?
So 2 months ago, we adopted a almost 2-year-old Labrador blonde boy. He's a mix. And we rescued him, so we don't know really his history. And he's really good, and he's a pretty mellow dog. But when we leave, he's got severe separation anxiety, and over the 2 months, it's gotten worse to the point this week it escalated to some damage done to our plantation shutters. He's trying to look out the window.
Yeah, well, you got to, you can't go. No,
going in the wrong direction. We tried crate training, and that's not working.
Well, you can't go anywhere. You have to stay home with him. You have to suffer from agoraphobia. That's anyway. Katie, let me explain. How old was he when you adopted him? Did you say?
We think he's going to be 2 in May, and we've only had him for 2 months. So
okay, and where did he come from? Where did he come from?
From the Southern California Labrador Retriever Rescue Group. And
where did they get him from?
They got him from a family that had turned him in to a shelter, and then they knew one of the reps at the Labrador Retriever Group, and they took him in.
Okay,
his medical records show he's been over about 4 different names.
Okay, so this is exactly what's going on. Separation anxiety. I hear that all the time. This dog had at least 4 homes that we know about before you gave him the perfect forever home that you've given him. So again, it's not the fact that he's being separated, it's the fear of being abandoned. I need people to really, really focus on that. Every time you leave, the dog panics because he's been through this before, where people he might have loved left and never came back, or people that he loved took him somewhere, dumped him off, and never came back. Again, it's amount of counter conditioning with this dog. It doesn't happen overnight because the dog's been traumatized at least 4 times that we know about. This dog, take it from me, this dog will turn out to be the most incredible dog you've ever had once we get him through this situation. And the way to do that is let him start understanding that when you leave, you're always coming back. The crate training was a big mistake for a dog like this. He was probably kept in a crate his whole life when he was young. So again, what I want you to do, no different than I was talking to someone earlier about. When you go home, have him go to another room, close the door, go back in 30 seconds later. Don't say goodbye, nothing. Just leave him by himself for 30 seconds. Then maybe 45 seconds. Then maybe go out the back door, come in the front door. Go out the front door, come in the back door. Don't make a big deal when you leave the house. Don't grab your car keys. Don't grab your purse. Don't grab your jacket. All of these are points to let the dog know that you're going. So again, what we want to do is what we call counter conditioning, letting the dog know that when you leave, you're always coming back. And little by little, that will make all the difference in the world. But again, patience and time. My heart breaks for this dog. What's the dog's name, by the way, Katie?
Sully.
Sully. My heart breaks for Sully. It breaks for him for the fact that this is a dog that just wants to be with people, wants to be loved, and for whatever reason was abandoned by people so many times that he panics whenever you leave, because now he has 3 square meals a day. He's living in beautiful La Cañada. He loves the neighborhood. So he's kind of falling in with the situation. But again, I want you to understand that it's not the fear of being left alone as much as the fear of you not coming back. So little by little, let's do it. Make sure before you leave the house, you give him a good exercise session. Make sure that he has some special toys that he only gets when you leave. Make sure that, again, no long goodbyes, no long hellos. But you're going to need to practice this. I don't know how many people are in your family, but everyone's got to do the same thing. No long goodbyes, no long hellos. Just make sure every time they leave, they come back rapidly, at least for now, and we'll build it up little by little. This is not a big problem, but it is going to take some time to resolve. But as I said, I guarantee, and I don't really say that, but I guarantee that Sully will turn out to be the most incredible dog once he realizes that when Katie and the family leaves, they're always going to come back and he's going to get more hugs and kisses when I get there. That's what it's all about, Katie.
Okay, sounds good.
Katie, don't go anywhere. Do you have a copy of my book?
No.
You do now. There's a whole great chapter in there to cover everything you need to know about abandonment and separation. So I'm going to put you on hold. Say hello to the lovely Suzette, and she will get your name and address, and a copy of how to get your dog to do what you want will be on its way to you. I'm going to take a quick break. When we come back, Mark, Samantha, Casey, you're next. Do have an open line. The phone number here, 866-870-KRLA, 866-870-5752. The question of the day is, has a shelter or rescued pet changed your life? Changed my life many times, whether it be a chicken or a dog, a snake or a cat or a pig or whatever I rescued. Every time I've rescued an animal, they've done something more for me than I've done for them. That's the way I feel about it. How do you feel? Give me a call, 866-870-KRLA. That is the way to get through. Let me take a quick break, and then we'll get back to your calls right after this. You know, speaking about organization, on The Pet Show, I'm Warren Eckstein. Phone number here, 866-870-KRLA. 866-870-5752. That is the way to get through. Got plenty of time for your calls. Still got some stuff to give away as well. Just before we get to you, Mark, Samantha, and KC, has a shelter pet changed your life? I want to hear about it. You know, our pets, whether it be dogs, cats, birds, reptiles, or any other animal, enrich our lives and fill our homes with love. Millions and millions of animals are waiting in one of the many shelters in the U.S. for that opportunity to go to a forever home. If you have a shelter pet, I want to hear from you. You believe a shelter pet helped save your life or rescue you? Give me a call, 866-870-KRLA. And, you know, April 30th, coming up on April 30th, April, my birth month, is a great opportunity. It's a National Adopt a Shelter Pet Day on April 30th. So if it's something you've been considering, stop considering. Go out and do it. Adopt a dog, adopt a cat from one of these shelters. There's so many out there, and every one of them is filled. And let me tell you, you think you're doing the best thing for the dog and cat, and maybe you are. But at the same time, take it from someone who's been there. You're doing the best thing for yourself as well. 866-870-KRLA, the phone number. Let me take another phone call right now. Let's go to Mark in Los Angeles. Hey, Mark. Welcome to The Pet Show.
Hey, Warren. How you doing? Thank you for all you do.
Well, I could never do it without you guys, so thank you as much. What can I do for you, Mark?
We have 2 senior Yorkies that we adopted as seniors about 5 years ago, male and female. And
thank you.
Ever since we had them, I've had a heck of a time trying to brush their teeth. They just fight me and bite me. And it seems like every time you take them to the vet, they say, oh, we want to pull two or three more teeth. So what's your advice?
Yeah, well, you know, a lot depends on what the vets are seeing. I mean, if they're seeing a lot of infection there, I give my dogs these dental chews every day on top of trying to keep their teeth as clean as I possibly can. There are some people that use non-anesthesia for cleaning teeth that will come to your home. How old did you say your Yorkies were?
We adopted them as seniors, but now we think they're both about 14.
Yeah, I'm surprised. I'm surprised that at 14 years old, unless there's really, really major problems, that are the teeth really that bad?
No, they're not. They're just, when I look at them, the ones that are left, they have quite a bit of tartar, and so I like to get in there and brush them and do the best but they just fight me, and, they're just so, now that they're older, I hate to see them struggle like that,
Yeah. Well, there are things, there are finger brushes that you can use. There's sprays now that you can use. But here's the thing that concerns me. A lot of people are unaware that as our dogs get older, a lot of the hair and stuff gets stuck in the gums. And that's where the bacteria comes in. And that can cause all kinds of infections. But you're kind of in an unusual situation. At 14 years old, does your vet really want to anesthetize the dog to clean the teeth and pull the teeth? Or is the anesthesia as dangerous as the cleaning of the teeth? That's a discussion you really have to have with your vet. The other thing I would really advocate is contacting some of the organizations, some of the groups. I don't have the name in front of me. Some of the groups that do the non-anesthetic teeth cleaning, at least to get a relatively decent cleaning done at your home. So those are the two options at this point. But a lot of people don't realize how critical it is to keep the dog's teeth really, really clean. And you adopted them at an older age, so my hat goes out to you. God bless you for doing that. But I know you don't want to stress the dogs out. So there are things that you can add to their water. It's not going to be the same as a total cleaning. So I would check online for that. But at the same time, at this point, what I would do is see if you can find someone to come to the house, at least to give you some type of idea of what they can do without the anesthesia at this point.
Okay, sounds good. I'll give it a try. Thank you so much.
Well, listen, and again, just thank you so much for adopting these older dogs. It's so many times that older dogs just cannot find their way. I forget the name of the stuff that I use my own dogs, but I'm going to keep listening. I'm going to put you on. I'm not going to put you on hold, but keep listening. And what I will do is I will give you the name of the chews that I use my own dogs when we come back. And I really do appreciate that phone call. But you know what? I'm going to send you a T-shirt as well. I want you to put you on hold. We'll get you a T-shirt also. Hey, the phone number here, 866-870-KRLA, 866-870-5752. Samantha, we're going to get to you after I come back from the break. And also, KC in Santa Monica, I want to talk to you about that organization. I may not be familiar with it, maybe just know it by a different name, so we'll talk about that as well. But it's really interesting. A lot of people are unaware how important it is to keep your dog's teeth and your cat's teeth clean. And if you start at a younger age and you kind of make it interesting and you make it fun, it's a lot easier. But when you've had a dog that you adopted, like Mark adopted, bless him for adopting the older dogs, the older Yorkies, sometimes they might have gone through other things or where people handled them roughly or handled their mouth roughly. So I always recommend this as well. Always massage the mouth, massage the dog around that area before you attempt any cleaning, just to get the dog calm and understand that when that area is being touched, nothing necessarily bad is going to happen. But there are some great new products on the market. Again, I would speak to your vet and ask him how safe he thinks it is for if he does have to anesthetize him. Excuse me. If he does have to put them anesthesia to clean their teeth. Great call, by the way. I do appreciate it. Hey, the phone number here, 866-870-KRLA. I'm going to take you when we come back from the break, Samantha. I know you've been hanging for a long time, but skittish cats, no easy answer for that. We're going to get to KC in Santa Monica. We're going to get to Kathy in Long Beach as well. Still want to hear from some people. I'm shocked that someone's not called. And all over my YouTube, by the way, if you're not subscribed to my YouTube channel, what are you waiting for? I'm telling you, giving you a heads up, there's going to be some major changes in the way I do things. So if you're not there, subscribe to youtube.com/Warren Eckstein, youtube.com/Warren Eckstein. Now, to hug or not to hug? That was the question. My entire reputation is based on hugging and kissing, right? The entire reputation is based on it. So that being said, not all dogs like to be hugged. It might have been dogs that were abused. So you have to be able to really read your dog. Some dogs see hugging as a fearful situation, as an assertive situation. My dogs did not like to be hugged at the beginning now. I hug them 24/7. They are the most huggable dogs. It's like one dog and two heads. They are the most huggable dogs in the world, but I did that gradually. I made them feel comfortable about it. They may have been picked up, and I know Molly and Willie were abused, so they were picked up and maybe tossed around, and maybe when they were held tight, it wasn't beneficial and it made them fearful. So I had to kind of build it up gradually over a period of years, and now Molly and Willie, well, they're the huggables. Quick break, then right back to your phone calls, 866-870-KRLA. I'm Warren Eckstein. This is The Pet Show. Okay. I like the response I'm getting on some emails I'm coming in when I talked about the concept that I changed after all these years, if you want to call your dog a mixed breed or a mutt, whatever, I realize now that I might have been too politically correct, that you love your dog as much as someone who calls it a blended breed or a fur baby. I really do believe that now. After spending as much time, as many years, I have listeners all over the country, and when I'm talking to my listeners in different parts of the country, they refer to their dog as their dog or their cat, but that doesn't mean they love them any less. All right, just before I get to you, Samantha, Casey, and Kathy, the name of the product I use for my own dog's teeth, it's called Oravet. It's a soft chew. It's not a hard chew, which can hurt the teeth. It's a soft chew. It's made, you can get it online. Chewy has it. Oravet, O-R-A-Vet, O-R-A-Vet. Check it out. It may help. It's helped a lot with my dogs. It may help with yours as well. All right, let me go to Samantha in Santa Ana. Hi, Samantha. Welcome to the show.
Hi.
How are you today?
So, I'm good. How are you?
I could not be better. How can I help you and your cat?
So, I just got this 6-month-old cat. Her name is Misty. I started noticing she's been very, very skittish. Like, she just won't come out of hiding. I noticed since I got her, she has progressively been getting better, but at first she just, no matter what we would do, trying to lure her with, I've been told lure her with some treats to get her to come out. She just seemed to just always run away from everybody, and she'll only
Samantha, let me ask you a question. You have her, she's 6 months old. How long have you had her?
I have had her it's been at least almost a month.
Okay, and so that makes her about 5 months old when you got her. Where did she come from?
I found her on Craigslist from this older woman named Joey that was taking care of her, and then she gave her to me, and that's where she came from.
Okay, so we have no idea of what her background is with this other woman in terms of if she's skittish with the other woman or not. Let me tell you, the advice you got from people, well-meaning, is the wrong advice. When a new dog or cat comes into the home and they're showing signs that they may be a little skittish or they may be a little shy, the worst thing you can do is try to force the situation at that point. Number one, you need to give them a little bit of time to decompress in the new home. What I would have done is I would have taken articles of your clothing unwashed and put it around where the cat was, so the cat gets really used of your scent, of your smell. I would have left the radio on a talk station. Maybe I can recommend one to you, KRLA, so she's hearing voices without the threat of people actually being there. We want the cat to decompress and realize that the sound of people. I don't know. Craigslist is I'm not a big fan of a lot of stuff on Craigslist and almost anything on Craigslist, but I don't understand. The woman had the cat. I don't know. What was the cat like with her? Do you know?
The older woman seemed very, very sweet. She said that, to my understanding, she rescues cats and takes care of them. And Misty, when she was given to me, she was already fixed, had all her shots, and this woman seemed to take really good care of her and it seemed like she had this attachment to Misty because she still contacts me to this day.
Okay, great. That's good. That's good. That's good. That's good. What I would have done also is, just so we know for the future, hindsight's 20/20, is I probably would have had the woman that you got the cat from, and I'm assuming there was no money involved, the woman that you got the cat from might have sent over an article of her clothing or something with her scent on it so the cat could make the adjustment gradually when it came into your home. That's something I recommend all the time. But now it's only been a little while since you've had the cat, the radio on, articles of your clothing. Don't try to force the cat out. If the cat is lying somewhere, lie down, not on top of her, but, a foot or two away, and just lay there. Don't even talk. Don't say a word. Just lay there. Let it get used to you being around without feeling challenged or threatened in any way or any shape. This is the type of cat that's kind of skittish and shy like this, that when they realize life is pretty darn good here in Santa Ana, she will come around and will turn out. But don't try to force the situation. Little at a time is the way to go. Let her build up her confidence in the new environment, her confidence with the new guardians, yourself. That's going to make all the difference in the world. I know well-meaning people say, well, give her a treat, she'll try to come out for a treat. Yeah, maybe some cats will. But in your case, the cat went from living with someone, I don't know how long it lived with this other woman, but at 6 months, she'd been there for a long time, going through a major change into a new home, a new environment. And specifically at 6 months old, the cat is going through what we classify as the juvenile stage of life, which is to understand that if you know what it's like to be a juvenile, there's a lot of things going on in your head, a lot of hormones going on, a lot of other things. Time to decompress, follow my advice, and I promise you the next call to me is, Warren, I can't get this cat away from me. He sleeps on my head, he's doing this, and he's doing that. How's that sound?
That sounds great. Thank you.
What I'm going to do, Samantha, is I'm going to put you on hold, and Suzette's going to pick up, and I'm going to send you, this is my favorite book. I've written many books, actually 13 books, but my favorite book probably is my dog, but the cat book is right up there. I'm going to send you a copy of How to Get Your Cat to Do What You Want. And I want you to really follow through and read the book carefully. There's a lot of great information there. But again, I appreciate that you got this cat. Not a big fan of Craigslist, but I guess there are people that do rescue animals on Craigslist. I don't know, but there's also a lot of charlatans on Craigslist as well, which kind of scares me just a little bit. The number here, 866-870-KRLA, 866-870-5752. By the way, if you notice that the cat's not eating, if you notice there's a lot more vocalizations, or the cat is really hiding and nervous, that's just a sign of anxiety. A little bit of time, she'll come out of that. A little patience will make all the difference in the world. That I promise you will happen. Really will happen. But stress is very, very common with cats. A lot of people don't realize it, that people in my profession, I remember when I was studying, they actually heard people saying that cats are like sponges. They just soak up the stress. That's why when people call me up and they have a cat that's hiding, or they have a cat that's not coming out to greet them, I always kind of jump to the conclusion that perhaps the cat is stressed out over something. And as a behaviorist, it's my job to help you figure out why the cat is stressed out and what does it really mean. Let me do this. Let me take a quick break. Casey, you're up next. I'm dying to hear from what you got to say. And Kathy, we're going to go to Long Beach after that as well and help you out. Great call, by the way, Kathy. I love your call. I do have some open lines. Great time to give me a call. The phone number here at the Pet Show, 866-870-KRLA. Just a reminder that I'm no longer manufacturing my Hugs and Kisses vitamin mineral supplement treats. The reason behind that. I talked about it before. I'm going to talk about it later. The manufacturer sold to a Swedish company. I love Swedish people, but I don't know this company from a hole in the wall. And if I can't talk to the owner, I'm not recommending or having him manufacture my product. So Hugs and Kisses vitamin mineral supplement. There's like 30, 40 jars left. I know you want to stock up. So they're now available only at Walmart.com. That's Walmart.com. So if you want to get the Hugs and Kisses, the large jar, the small jar, just a few left. They're only available right now at Walmart.com. So if you want to stock up, get them today. Has a long shelf life, so you might want to stock up on them if your dogs use them on a regular basis. Let me do this. Let me take a real quick break. KC, Kathy, you'll be my next two callers. 866-870-KRLA. Still have the question out there. Has a shelter or rescue dog or cat changed your life, made your life better? Give me a call. I'd love to hear from you. You know, I work with veterans all the time, and I got to tell you, sometimes these rescue dogs or rescue cats or even a canary or a parrot can make all the difference in their life. They rescue these animals, and I believe in my heart that dogs and cats and all animals know when they've been rescued and pay you back every single day for the rest of your lives. 866-870-KRLA, the phone number. Quick break, then right back to your phone calls. I'm Warren Eckstein. This is the time. Let me get right back to the phone lines here. Let me go to KC in my old hometown of Santa Monica. Hi, KC. Welcome to the show.
Oh, Santa Monica misses you, Warren. You're the voice of reason.
I miss Santa Monica too, except let me be honest with you, I don't miss the traffic. I love the weather, I miss the ocean, I miss the pier, but I don't miss the traffic. That I guarantee you. Anyway, what can I do for you, Kate?
You asked if rescue dogs or shelter dogs change your life, man. Yeah, totally. I'm actually, I'll be moving out of the city soon. I'm going to be getting some space so I can do some rescue and foster work. I'll be a couple of counties over, but that was pretty much my dogs forced me to get out of the city, sir.
I know your dogs, and I know they want out.
Yeah. So the upshot on the Found Act. So if you or if your listeners can Google like Lost and Found, FOUND, it essentially stands for Friends of Oreo. That's my dog. Friends of Oreo, Uniting During Disasters. And when the fires broke out in Los Angeles, the city of LA did not have a plan to get pet guardians into their homes. The tragedies were unfolding, Warren. Stuff like feeding your fish, stuff like feeding your cats. I only put up, enough cat food and water for a day or two, and you've been stuck out of your home after the fires for weeks on end. So we're doing a assembly bill. It's AB 478 and Assembly Bill 478, the Found Act, Friends of Oreo Uniting During Disasters. If people Google that, we're working on the act. It's with Social Compassion and Legislation.org. People can just look at Social Compassion on Instagram. But Judy Mancuso, I've been working with her and Nick on her team, and we're trying to basically allow pet guardians to go and take care of their animals after a fire or a flood or an earthquake. We're working on that in California with the Found Act, but eventually we want to take it nationwide because
as well, Casey, as well you should. I spent a fair amount of time working with the search and rescue dogs at Ground Zero right after 9/11, and when I was there, one of the things that I found was, number one, I'm not going to go into specifically what I found, but one of the things that happened is people were not allowed, understandably, in some cases, to get in there and buildings around that area to get to their dogs or get to their cats or get to their fish. And it broke my heart. And I remember arguing and talking to some of the politicians there saying, why can't we just get one or two people that can go in there and take care of these animals? So I love, first of all, I'm a big fan of yours, and I haven't spoken to Judy in years, but I'm a big fan of what she does as well. And the bottom line is, this Oreo, this law would be absolutely phenomenal in terms of helping animals starting out where we have to and then moving forward all over, because people are devastated. Listen, I was one of the first people you called when Oreo got lost. And so I understand where you were coming from, but the fact that you were not able to get in there just made everything so much worse for it. And so I'm so glad I gotta go. I'm running out of time, but I got to let you know that anything you guys need, you and Judy need me to do, contact me during the week. I have a pretty big audience, and we can get this information out there, because this law has to be passed. And anyone who doesn't want this law passed, as far as I'm concerned, is totally out of touch with the relationship people have with their pets. Not their pets, but part of their family that may not walk upright.
Thank you, Warren. Appreciate you.
Casey, we will speak again soon. I see that Judy's on the line. I'm not going to have time to talk to her, but tell Judy to send me an email. You have my email. Contact me, and maybe we can go a little bit further in the future. That's Casey. We all know Casey. His dog Oreo was lost, and just an amazing story, an amazing rescue, amazing animal. I remember when he called me how upset he was, and I just heard the love coming from Casey, from his heart. So if he's involved with this and Judy's involved with this, this. Judy spends an awful lot of, I haven't spoken to maybe in 10 years, I don't know, Judy, but she does an awful lot of legislative work, and the work she does is really important. May not get the notoriety as a lot of other things, but it's just as important as anything. So I want you all to keep me posted. Judy, send me an email. Maybe we can go further and talk about this down the road. But as I said, it's not only because of the fires in Los Angeles, but having spent time after hurricanes. I was a spokesperson for the Department of Homeland Security. So when at ground zero, you have no idea. I would meet people when I was left the location. Now you make me upset now. When I left the location, speaking to people, I just wanted to get in and see if their dogs or their cats were okay, and they couldn't get back in there. And I understand what was going on there. Believe me, I understand. I was there. But again, the bottom line is there's got to be some changes where designated people or someone can get in there to make sure that people's pets are there. And again, for those people that don't understand the relationship between people and their pets, it's no longer the family dog. It's part of the family. And I think the family cat's part of the family. I think that's so important. Quick break. We'll try to get to you, Kathy and Sandy. If not, I'm going to give you the phone number for the national show, and you can get me there. But right now, I got to share this with you. Over 35 years ago, I developed my Hugs and I want to spend more time with you, so write this number down, and that goes for anyone out there listening. As soon as I get off the air here, I do my Radio America show, Armed Forces Radio show. It's the same type of show. I give away the same type of gifts. Write this number down. Start calling it, not before, but at 1 o'clock. Let it ring for a while. It goes to Washington, D.C., same type of show. So write this number down, 877-725-8255. It's a different number, Sandy. 877-725-8255, 877-725-8255. All right, Kathy, I'm going to try to answer your call. If we run out of time, you might have to call me there as well. So I understand you have a cat that's carrying around a stuffed animal. How long has this been going on?
Oh, since he treats it like a little animal. It's his color. His name's Oriole, by the way. And so he's 5. So pretty much.
Is he neutered?
Yes.
Okay. And how long have you had him?
I've had him 5 years.
Okay, sometimes what often happens, and if you had him since he was a very young kitten, they will bond with the stuffed animals if it was part of their litter, and they will carry that around as a litter mate. That could be part of it. Sometimes, and this is a male cat, right?
Yes.
Sometimes a female cat can go through what we call a false pregnancy, and they'll carry a stuffed animal thinking it's one of their kittens. But it's kind of like its blankie. It's a security blanket for him. Nothing to worry about at all. He
carries it around and like he's looking for a place to put him. So when I reach out, he gets mad and he pulls away. He doesn't want me to get near him.
Well, that's his. Listen, no one wants their blankie taken away from them. Nothing to worry about. Normal behavior. If he likes to carry around a stuffed toy, don't worry about him. Do you have a name for the stuffed toy?
Baby.
All right, well, you call. I got to move on, but don't worry about it. Great call, by the way. But again, the bottom line is nothing to worry about. Sandy or anyone else, give me a call. Here's that national show number again, 877-725-8255. Till next week, give all your pets a big hug and a kiss for you, an incredibly special hug and a kiss right between the ears for me. No matter what you call them, I'm Warren Eckstein. This has been The Pet Show.